Hey, this is video number 2 in my series of class council. So if you stay tuned, you will see what I do next. All right, so for my second meeting of class council, after I share what Antarctica is, I start off with introducing the format of class council and how it would be run. The goal of this is not for me to run this anymore, but to have the students run their own class council. That usually takes about a month, and I have these meetings not every single day. So these meetings are happening once a week, kind of like a recap. I love to do it, honestly, in the beginning of the week because it sets them up for their goals and the things that they need to work on during that week. So in the beginning of the week, I have my class council, and during the entire week, I see how they're using the strategies and the skills that I taught them during this class council. Usually by the beginning of October, the students are then running their class council themselves. So this is what I do for my second meeting in class council. So the first thing is I have a poster. And this poster stays the same for every single class council meeting. So I always have what it is, the class council. On here, it's important that I put down what are we doing well with, and we discuss it. Then I leave some space so that we can write. And then I have what are some areas that we can improve in, leave some space to write, and then our class goal is. So for this meeting, the second time, I do establish some expectations. And my expectations for the classroom, for the class council at this time is to respect people's ideas is the first thing. The second thing is share, whether it's going to be turn and talk time when we're together or whether it's to be share out. And then the third thing is whatever is discussed in class council, it stays in class council, because at the end I do kind of like a mini lesson, but based off of character and community building. That's what I usually do. So let's start with the poster so you can see what I do. The first thing is, what are we doing well with? I love starting with something positive, and I think that's very key. So at this time, I asked the students, okay, it's been a first week of school, you know your expectations. What are some things that you did very well with during last week? So I give them a chance. I have them turn and talk with each other to come up with some ideas. And then I put down 2 things that they are doing well with here, and they agree on it. This isn't something I choose. This is something the kids choose. So I have them raise their hands. I call on a person and they will give me their ideas, and I'll say, do you agree with that? Do you agree that we are following our hallway expectations very well? Thumbs up and thumbs down. And most of the kids will say thumbs up. And then later on, you'll notice the kids become brutally honest. They become honest and they say, well, you were following them, but most of us in the classroom weren't. So I like that about it. They take ownership to the things they're doing well with and the things they need to improve. Another note you need to remind them of is the things that they're doing well with or the things they need to improve with may not just be academically. It could be their expectations, what they are doing. So it's not always academically. Okay, so the second thing, after we have what they're doing well with, I'll write it the first time. When the kids run it, I have the kids run it and write it down. But when we're finished with that, I talk about some of the things that we need to improve in. So that could be, like I said, not necessarily academically. There could be some behavior things. It could be something as simple as being kind to one another. Things like that that will help build our classroom community. So again, I have them turn and talk. And then we decide on 2 things that I could put down here, okay? After we have the things that we need to improve, we focus on a class goal. Especially in the beginning of the year, I talk about how when we goal set, we want one goal so we can do really well with it. And then we can move on to a next goal while we're still doing the one we accomplished and did really well with. So when we have our class goal, they decide one of the things that they need to improve in will then become our class goal. So then again, I have them turn and talk with the people in front of that they're sitting next to on the floor. And as they're turning and talking, they decide which one of those two would be a great class goal to work on that we can improve. Then again, I vote, thumbs up, thumbs down, and we write our class goal up here. So throughout the week, I always turn back to this. I love putting on a giant sticky note. I love these things because I get to hang it up in the room somewhere where everyone can see it. So I am referring back to this class goal all the time. So I can say, boys and girls, is that act going towards and helping us meet our class goal? And they can either say no, or they can go, yeah, we're doing a good job. So they're taking ownership and making sure that they are meeting their goals. Now, after this, when I go over the poster, I then have a mini lesson. Push this back here. The mini lesson has to deal with either, number one, something that was in the Let's Discuss It box. So that means that over by Antarctica that I showed you last time, that Let's Discuss It bag tells me that is something that we need to work on. So I either have a meeting like that. If it is the beginning of the year, I always start off with my encouraging words. So the encouraging words, I explain to them about acts of kindness. I explain to them that it is important that we identify those people that have helped us. So I go ahead and show them and remind them that the encouraging word baskets is over in Antarctica. And then the appropriate times to fill this out, they don't need to raise their hand and ask me, oh, can I fill out an encouraging word? So this allows them to be kind to one another. Then I go ahead and I talk about, when you see someone be kind to you, you need to tell them. And these encouraging words is a way we can tell them and recognize for all the kind things that people do. So it does not need to be pretty. Yes, I need to re-put the construction paper on, but you know what? Who cares? Who cares if construction paper is faded or things need to happen? Because the kids don't even notice that. And if they do, quite frankly, they don't care as long as they're doing this. So I show them my encouraging words basket, and I have blank encouraging words right here. I show them how to fill one of these out. So they can either do it anonymously, but I said it's really nice to know who you were being kind to. So it's okay to put your name on it. But you put down who is it to and what did you do or what did they do that showed great acts of kindness. And you need to be specific. You can't just say, oh, you wore a cool shirt, but that you have down, thank you for helping me pick up my belongings when I dropped them in the hallway while switching classes. It's specific. So that person knows exactly what they can do again. When they are complete, I tell them you put it into the encouraging words basket. Again, it's nothing fancy. It doesn't need to be. And you can see my kids already did some of this from last week. Just last week, look at all these encouraging words that I got in the basket. And what I like to do is I go over the encouraging words in the beginning of every class council meeting. Before I start the poster, I open up with, let's go over some encouraging words. Let's see some of the great things that we did for each other and that people notice that we did. And I go over and I share them and I said, and I hand it to them and I said, would you like this to be hanging up in our room or would you like to take this home? And most of the time, most people say, I would like it hanging up in the room. And then what I do is I eventually monthly, I take all of them down. I say, okay, you take this home so mom, dad, or whoever's at home can see the great things that you're doing in class. So this is exactly what I do for the second meeting of class council. I introduce the format, my expectation. I go over the poster, and then I introduce encouraging words and being kind to each other for the actual meeting portion of it. Okay, if you love this second video in the series of Class Counsel, please give this a thumbs up. Look for the next video coming out for the third video of what I do next after we have our first meeting. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment below any questions that you have, and definitely hit that like button. I will see you in the next video.